Rambam writes in the 10th chapter of the laws of Matnos Aniyim, the gifts for the poor. Chayav and Anal Ezayim Mitzvah Stok, Yosem Mikol Mitzvah Say. Shatstoka similar to Zera Avram Avinu. People have to be more careful in the mitzvah of tzedakah more than all the other mitzvah, positive mitzvahs. To understand what the Rambam is really saying. But basically, he explains that giving tzedakah is a sign that you're a Jew, that you belong to Avram Avinu. It says over there that Hashem says, you know why I love you so much? Because I know you're going to influence your children and your children's children to give tzedakah, to do kindness. Then he continues, the Jewish people, the Jewish government, the Jewish nationality could not exist and cannot be the foundation of the Jewish people is only through tzedakah. Shenamar b'tzedakah tikanoni. He brings a pasuk. Any soul nigolen ela b'schutz tzedakah. Mashiach will come, and the geula, the redemption of the Jewish people, will also be in the merit of tzedakah. Shenamar tzir v'mishpat tipod v'shvav tzedakah. The Jewish people will be redeemed through the learning of Torah, and its captives through the schus, the merit of giving tzedakah. A person should always keep this in mind. Don't ever think you'll be poor by giving tzedakah. Nothing bad will come, no damage, nothing negative will happen to you if I'm giving tzedakah. Tzedakah will only only bring you more blessing, more shalom. If you have rachmanis on another person, Hashem will see to it that you'll have people, Hashem will send people to have rachmanis on you, to have mercy on you, to have compassion to you. A person is a selfish person, and a person does not show compassion to others. You have to question his pedigree. Maybe it's not from the Jewish people, from the other nations. Listen to this. All the Jewish people and the Gadim and the people who become Jewish are all like one big family. We're all like brothers. Hashem says, you are my children. Who's going to have rachmanis if a brother doesn't have rachmanis on a brother? Well, me and he is still nice in the name. Who the Jewish people, the poor people, are going to turn to? To the goyim who hate us. There's some goyim that hate us. How goyim should say nice right for nachlein. And ain't a name please who do they turn to? To their brothers. That's where they look up with their eyes. They look for help. It's interesting how the Rambam goes into these details. You wouldn't think that Mamash, he's telling us halacha. So why does he have to say that we are all brothers? That's also halacha. That's part of the halacha. And then many other halachas, including the fact one of the first things that he mentions when he talks about tzedakah, that even a poor person has to give tzedakah. Trying to find it. Even a person who's poor, he also should give tzedakah. How?
Good question.
1 second. How can he give tzedakah? From the tzedakah that he received, he should go to another poor person who also received tzedakah. He should say, we both have a mitzvah of tzedakah. You're also poor. I'll give you, and then if you want, you'll give me also. At least he'll be fulfilled the mitzvah of tzedakah. The Gemara says in Gittin that what should a person do if he sees that money is very tight? but so tight. Mishem is a noisav mitzumtzamah. It's he's having a hard time even finding enough money to buy food. The Gemara says, Yasem man tzedakah. He should take from that little bit of food that he has, that he got maybe from someone else, and he should share it with someone else. He should give tzedakah from that food, and because of that, Hashem is going to have rachmanis on him, and he's going to have a Yeshua. He's going to have a salvation. It's opposite, it's contrary to how most people think and the logic of most people. If you don't have, what are you supposed to give? Give, and this will open up your mazel from Hashem, and Hashem will give you more. Go ahead, Yitzchak.
What if the guy can't even afford to put a roof over his family's head?
So, we're not telling him to give that what he cannot afford or from what he doesn't have. We're not telling him to go borrow. We're saying from that little bit that you have, give a little bit to another poor person who might have even less than him or the same, and that person will see what this person is doing and they'll respond with kindness. You understand?
If they give back to each other,
it's a mitzvah. That's what he said. I'm quoting it from the Shulchan Aruch. Aniyim and Spanasim and Tzedakah. Poor people who they themselves get parnasa from tzedakah. Yuchayim l'kayim mitzvah tzedakah they sheyachlifu b'neim kaspi tzedakah shekiblu. They should switch the tzedakah that they exchanged the tzedakah that they received, and by sharing that money, that bread or that food, whatever it is, they are doing the mitzvah of tzedakah. Even if a guy comes over to you, he needs help, if you're able to give him tzedakah, it's also good. Why? Or clothing, because we want to get along with the goyim. We don't want to, they shouldn't say, no, we don't care about that. Like Rabbi Weberman used to say that we live here in the United States. So God forbid there's a fire, or God forbid someone is sick, you expect the ambulance to come, or the fire department. Well, why do you expect them to come? Because you're a resident, you're a citizen here. Okay, so you also have to do the right thing. If they have trouble, you're not gonna. If the society sees that we're not interested in them, why should they be interested in us? The whole idea is that we get along with each other. Then the Rambam tells us one of the most famous halachas regarding tzedakah that should be publicized for people to know, because people are always looking for segulot, a segula, a Yeshua, a blessing. Hey, look, listen to the Rambam's words. Person, we were talking about before, inviting a guest. Inviting a rich person, it's a mitzvah, but the hospitality, is really mostly for the person who cannot afford, doesn't have where to eat. He's
strangers.
A stranger, he's out of town, he's new in town, he doesn't know. You're making him feel comfortable by inviting him. But over here, the Rambam is talking about mamish, someone who's poor, or an orphan. Orphans, that you bring them food. This person who provides the food and the drinks for the poor people and the orphans, he will call out to Hashem, and Hashem will answer him. And Hashem will show him tainuk. He will have pleasure, spiritual delight from Hashem, and Hashem will have spiritual delight from him. This is a very, very important halacha that, especially now, the Rambam says earlier in the laws of tshuva, that during the 10 days of tshuva, from Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur, everyone should increase in tzedakah and chesed and kindness, tshuva and returning to Hashem. This is part of it. Tshuva, tefillah, tzedakah. We say in the tefillah of Hashem Kippur that tshuva, returning to Hashem, or tefillah, and praying to Hashem, or tzedakah, and giving tzedakah to other people. Ma'avirin es raya gzeira. This takes away the bad decrees. So people are always looking for extra things, what they can do, which is it's good, it's nice. But first, do the basics. You're looking for a sgula. A sgula means a special way of trying to, you heard that if you eat this food on this day and you make a, okay, it's a bracha, it's good. You'll have a special Yeshua. You'll eat 3 kugels. On Rabbi Weberman used to say, some people, they make 3 kugels when it's Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, and Chanukah. For Shabbos, right? For Shabbos Chodesh, for Rosh Chodesh, and for Chanukah. You have 3 kugels, the heavens are going to open up for you.
He used to say the number of kugels equaled the number of Torahs you take.
The number of what?
Torahs you take
Coincided
up.
with the number of Torahs that you take up.
It's a nice thing, and it should do it. But you cannot compare eating 3 different kugels than giving food to poor people and orphans. That the Rambam here brings it clearly in halacha, and the Rambam is not talking about kugels. Kugels is a good thing; it's a minhag, and you don't take lightly a minhag. But you have to understand the weight. Of course, the kugel is good, important. If you're doing it l'shem shamayim, you're doing it for Hashem's honor. But don't forget to invite someone else who needs the kugel with you. Don't just eat it up and gobble it up yourself. Another few minutes, say a few lines from Rabbi Weberman Sefer here. Rosh Hashanah commemorates the creation of the world. The sounding of the shofar Rosh Hashanah heralds the coronation of Hashem the King. This is the day on which Hashem judges his world. Most people are under the impression that the first day of Tishrei is that first day that is mentioned in Genesis. This is not so. Rosh Hashanah was the 6th day of creation. The first day of Genesis occurred on the 25th day of Elul, which is today. The obvious question is, why do we not celebrate Rosh Hashanah on the 25th day of Elul? Good question, no? Today should have been Rosh Hashanah, because today is the first day of creation. Which is the first day of creation? Should not the 25th day of Elul be the day in which God judges his creatures? So the answer is, we're going to go into this tomorrow, that the creation was not complete until Adam was created. There was a beautiful world, but there was no people, there was no purpose. The whole purpose is that man should be created. A man has free choice, and he should choose to do the right thing. And the man should say to Hashem, I recognize you, I acknowledge you, I need you to be my king, and we need you to be our king. Avinu Malkeinu. So this didn't happen right away. It happened 6 days later. That's why Rosh Hashanah is on the 6th day, but we'll learn it more tomorrow. Remind me, we're on page 100. So God willing, we'll get to it tomorrow.